Hi everyone, welcome to our EduBot webinar. My name is Dane Hart, developer at SIS Global. So before we dive in, I want you to ask yourself, how many of you have answered the same registration questions about 50 times this week? Or found yourself explaining degree requirements to students who could have found that information themselves? What I'm going to show you today is how EduBot eliminates these repetitive tasks while providing better student support than ever before. One of our university partners saw their support tickets drop by 73% and their live chat requests reduced by 80% just 2 weeks after implementing EduBot. But here's what makes EduBot the best and different from the other chatbot solutions out there. We've been building chatbots for higher education since they became viable, long before ChatGPT was even a concept. And now, while your IT team might be able to build a basic chatbot, AI is moving at such a rapid pace that by the time they finish, it would have already become outdated. We've already learned from all of these mistakes. We can get you up and running incredibly fast with all the new technologies that are released. We're on top of it and adapting our platform immediately. Our platform is constantly being redefined and updated to keep pace with the latest education trends and technology. Every feature that you see here today has been shaped by real feedback from real institutions facing real challenges. We've integrated things like ticketing functionality, advanced AI analytics, live chat features, refinement features, and feedback systems with ratings. Plus, we've added a dedicated data center where universities can manage all their data securely and efficiently. You can do it all from one platform. So enough talking from me. Let's get into the demo. I think Marina already put something in the chat. But please feel free to ask all your questions in the chat as I go and demo. We have people in the chat to answer your questions. If you could just ask all your questions in the chat and we'll answer them there and not actually ask them on the call just for the sake of time. There's quite a lot of things to get through. That would be much appreciated. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen now. We can get straight into the demo. Yeah, that should be coming up there. So while that's sharing, what I'm going to be showing you today is following the entire student process from the perspective of Emma. So Emma is a prospective student who goes through the entire journey to become a thriving sophomore. And I'm going to show you how EduBot transforms her entire journey. As we go through each scenario, think about all those little daily challenges that consumes your team's time. So let's get started. So as you can see on the screen right now, I have Grand Oak University. This is a fictitious demo university that we've developed for the purpose of this webinar. And Emma is a high school senior in California that's landed on Grand Oak's website admission page, and she's exploring her options. You can see this is what the EduBot chat window looks like. It's all branded for Grand Oak. It all looks great. And students will bounce between different pages generally. They'll get frustrated with generic FAQs, or they'll leave and they'll just flood your admissions teams with calls and questions. But when they see EduBot, the entire process is different. So let's see what happens. You can see firstly, it says, welcome to Grand Oak University. I'm here to help you with any questions you may have. Before we get started, please enter your details. So this is just some basic info gathering stuff, but I'm going to enter them here. So my name is Emma Smith. I'm going to enter a fake email here, emma@email.com. It can give me my student type. So am I a prospective student, existing, or parent or guardian? So I'm a prospective student. And then you can enter a student number if you have one, but that's completely optional. So I'm going to click complete. And now EduBot says, how can I help you today? So what are the types of questions Emma might ask at this point? One of the questions she might ask is, what programs do you offer in AI and digital transformation? So as a prospective student here, I'm asking that question. You can see the minute I ask that question, EduBot starts thinking, and it lists all the programs that I can study in AI and digital transformation. Notice how EduBot doesn't just list these programs, it explains what each one of them actually means. This is the kind of detailed, personalized response that would take your admissions team at least 10 minutes to craft, but EduBot delivers this immediately. You can see it's giving me a numbered list from 1 to 4 with a breakdown of each one. We've got a BS in artificial intelligence, a BS in computer science, AI, a BBA in digital transformation, and a BS in data science. It's of course tailored that response for the question I asked. And I can now ask follow-up questions on that. So if I want to say something like, what are the admission requirements for 1 and 3? From the context of that message, we can see 1 and 3 is a BS in artificial intelligence and a BBA in digital transformation. And of course, the AI is smart enough to recognize that. So you can see it says, here's the admission requirements for the BS in Artificial Intelligence and the BBA in Digital Transformation and Programs at Oak University. What it's done is it's broken this down into a very nice table. It's given me the requirement and then each particular program, and it's given the different aspects of it. So the application, apply using the Common App or Grand Oak University application, the application fee, the official high school transcript, the standardized test scores. So all the things I asked for the admission requirements, it's broken it down per program, listed it out for me in a very clear, easy to understand table. And again, it says to me at the end, if you have any questions about these admission requirements, please feel free to reach out. So let's just say Emma's going through this process, and while she's doing this, Emma's mother joins her. Her first language is Spanish. That doesn't matter. I can just say to EduBot, please translate the above answer to Spanish. Spanish for my mom. Please translate this above answer to Spanish for my mom. I even spelled translate wrong there. It doesn't matter. It then goes and completely translates the entire answer word for word, keeping that same clear to understand table format, and repeats that in Spanish for Emma's mother, and she can now understand that. EduBot has instant multilingual support. It supports over 100 languages, and your staff don't need to be multilingual. That's what EduBot for. It covers that gap. One university that we have saw their international student engagement increase by 2,200% after implementing EduBot, which is pretty amazing. You can see it's done very well there at answering that question in Spanish. I could have asked that in over 100 languages and got a great answer for that. So these are the type of questions Emma can ask, but Emma can also ask dozens of other questions to EduBot. She could be asking, when are your recruitment days and your campus visits? Who's my regional admissions advisor? What's the campus culture like? How do I apply for financial aid? What's the student to faculty ratio? Things like that. This isn't just a chatbot. It's a complete recruitment assistant that never sleeps, never gets overwhelmed, and always has the right answer. And we have AI analytics dashboards that shows you exactly which questions are driving conversations and which ones are causing students to drop off. So that was the prospective student process of how Emma goes through these questions when she's trying to apply for programs. So let's go to a different perspective. What I'm going to show you now is the perspective of enrolling as a freshman. So this is from a different perspective. Fast forward now, Emma has been accepted into her program of Bachelor of Science in Artificial Intelligence. She now faces course registration, campus logistics, and settling in. And this is where you could see the real value of EduBot. So you can see here, it says, hi, Emma. It already knows it's talking to Emma because it's all integrated. Welcome back to Grand Oak University. I'm here for any questions you might have. So see this from the perspective of a bit of time has passed, and she's now at the point of enrolling and registering. So this is the type of question Emma might ask. I'm going to say, can you help me register for my fall classes? The exact type of question Emma would ask at this point in her journey. And again, kind of what you saw previously, it streams the answer and it provides detailed registration guidance with course recommendations. Emma is now accessing EduBot from the student portal, not a public website. So picture it from that aspect. So it's all integrated. This is crucial because it's integrated into your university's SIS system. It knows that it's speaking to Emma. It knows that her program is a BS in artificial intelligence, and it has access to a complete academic profile in real time. This is what transforms your generic chatbots into personalized academic advisors, taking the pressure off your staff. This means that EduBot effectively doubles your advisor capacity. If you have advisors that, let's just say, are currently supporting 30,000 students, EduBot handles all the routine questions so that they can support twice as many students without hiring additional staff. You keep your existing team, but you just dramatically increase what they can accomplish. So as you can see, EduBot said, certainly let's proceed with the course registration for your fall semester in BS and Artificial Intelligence. It's again given me a step-by-step numbered process. Number one, log into the student portal. It gives me the link. Number two, your course selection. Based on your program, here are the required courses for your fall semester. It's listed out the required courses. Here are your elective courses. Students are required to complete at least 2 electives. Schedule review, registration, confirmation. You can read the answer there yourself, but I'm sure you can get the idea of the power that it's actually given them as well. So EduBot, what it can also do is understand voice notes. Of course, accessibility is a huge thing when helping your students, and not all of them are able to type to the bot. Not all of them want to type to the bot. Some can only speak to the bot with voice, or they just want to speak to the bot with voice. And EduBot gives you that capability as well. So if I send a voice note here, I can say something to the bot like, what electives can I take? I'm interested in generative AI. I can send that voice note to the bot. And of course, now what that's going to do is it's going to understand what I've just said with my voice. It's going to then query the exact knowledge set that it has access to for your text responses. And what the cool thing you're going to see here is it can actually reply in voice. So you can see now the bot's responded to me with a voice note. And if I play it, I'm just going to stop talking for a second.
For students interested in generative AI, Grand Oak University offers several elective courses that can enhance your understanding and skills in this area. Here are some electives you might consider. Firstly, there is AI 104, Generative Models in Artificial Intelligence, focuses on generative adversarial networks and variational autoencoders. Additionally, you could choose AME 112, Artificial Intelligence in Media and Entertainment, covers generative techniques for content creation. These courses will enhance your understanding of generative artificial intelligence.
So EduBot isn't just listing courses there. It's providing personalized academic advising based on Emma's interests. This saves advisors countless hours per day that they can spend on complex student cases instead. More than that, not only did Emma send the voice note to EduBot, the bot replied with a voice note, which is, of course, really cool. Students can literally talk to EduBot like they're talking to a friend. No more typing, no more fumbling with interfaces, just natural conversation. You can even do things like edit the tone and the type of voice that EduBot replies in and really personalize it towards your institution and fit it towards your students. I can now, of course, ask questions about the voice note that it just gave me. So I can say, show me how the first option fits into my schedule. Because it's directly integrated, it knows all about Emma's current schedule, and it can now formulate an answer based on the context of Emma's schedule and based on the previous voice note that the bot sent. So you can see it says, certainly, here is how generative models and artificial intelligence elective fits into your current schedule. It's broken it down Monday to Friday with the exact time slots, the exact courses, and there's really very little room for Emma to get confused here. She's getting the exact information she needs when she needs it. So now Emma's going to try something a bit different. Emma's going to take a photo of her printed classes and her printed class schedule and send it to EduBot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach this image here. So of course, this is on my computer, but this is from the perspective of Emma. She would be taking this picture on her phone. There's my picture. I'm going to say, I'm lost on campus. Can you help me find where my classes are? And send that through. I'm lost on campus. Can you help me find where my classes are? So if I click on this image, you can see this is what I've sent. This is the picture Emma would have taken. It's all of her courses, the location of them. This is the type of thing that would be handed out to Emma. It would probably confuse her quite a bit. She might ask people on campus. She might ask your staff members. But now I can use the power of image AI and image recognition to get an answer for this. So you can see it says, here are the specific locations for each building. EduBot's been able to understand that image, understand what it's looking at, understand the text in that image, understand that it's talking about buildings and locations, extract all that and list it out. So it says here are each building locations. Again, 1 to 6, it's listed out all the buildings. Okay, so with image recognition for documents, schedules, and forms, students can literally photograph their problems and get instant help. But the enrollment, it covers lots of other things. But what I just want to show you there as well is that the bot was also able to send an image in the chat. So you can see here, you can view the campus map below. This is exactly what Emma would need at this point in time. Even though it's given her natural language instructions on how to get to those buildings, a map is what she needs. And the bot can decide when she needs that, deliver that to her right in the chat. And again, it keeps that whole interaction going by saying, if you have any other questions, feel free to ask. But the enrolling in the freshman phase covers so much more, and EduBot handles other questions as well. Obviously, I can't show them all to you, but I'm sure you can imagine some of those questions. Things like, I've requested a single room, but got assigned a double. How do I appeal this? Or I'm a vegetarian. What meal plans options work for me? How do I get a parking permit? Are there any AI or coding clubs that I should join? I'm having trouble setting up my student email. Can you help? When will my financial aid be dispersed to my account? Where can I buy my textbooks? Are there any rental options? And every single one of these interactions is tracked in our AI analytics platform, and you'll have all the insights that you need, things that you've never had before. So for the last actual part of Emma's journey, I'm going to be demoing the sophomore journey. So I've switched over to this now. This is from the perspective of a sophomore. Emma is now a sophomore, and her needs have evolved. She's doing really well at the university, but she needs more sophisticated support. And this is where EduBot really shines compared to your generic chatbot solutions. So again, it's all integrated. Welcome back, Emma. It knows I'm talking to Emma. How can I help you today? And Emma can now ask, what are my upcoming assignments this month? And what is their weighting? Okay, what are my upcoming assignments this month? And what is their weighting? You'll have noticed the entire process that I have made a few typos and spelling mistakes. That doesn't matter. Students talk the way they want to talk, they type fast, and the AI is smart enough to look through that. And you see it listed that virtually instantly, saying here's a list of your upcoming assignments for July, along with their weighting. Again, it's in a great table format. It's very easy to understand. Again, there's very little room for Emma to get confused here. And by integrating with your LMS, EduBot knows exactly Emma's exact academic status in real time, of course. So let's just say Emma faces another challenge at this point, and this is a challenge that could derail all of her progress. I'm going to say I'm really struggling in MLF 201, and I'm thinking about dropping it. What happens if I do, and how will it affect my graduation plan? Okay, a bit of a long question there. I'm really struggling MLF 201 and thinking about dropping it. What happens if I do, and how will this affect my graduation plan? So this is a question your staff member would normally deal with. It's going to generate the exact answer she's looking for. And this is where EduBot becomes truly powerful. Real-time degree audit and academic planning. How cool is that? EduBot immediately shows the ripple effects of academic decisions. And this level of academic planning is instant. There's no waiting for appointments with advisors. There's no missed deadlines. This type of early intervention helps prevent student withdrawals before they happen. So if we go through that answer just generated here, it says based on the degree rules and the module requirements for the Bachelor of Science in Artificial Intelligence, here's what will happen if you drop MLF 201, which is of course advanced machine learning. It's a required module. It cannot be dropped. MLF 201 is listed as a required module for year 2, and according to progression and degree rules, required modules must be completed as scheduled and cannot be dropped. If failed, they must be retaken before progression. Again, that was the other part of my question, the impact on graduation plan. If you drop MLF 201, you will not meet the requirements to complete all the required modules in year 2 before progressing to year 3. MLF 201 is a prerequisite for multiple year 3 required modules, AI 301, AI 302, as well as some year 3 electives. And if you do not pass MLF 201, you will be blocked from enrolling in these modules, which will delay your progression to year 3 and beyond. And then it goes into a bit more of the advising side. What if you're failing MLF 201? If you fail, rather than drop the module, the rules say that a failed module must be retaken at the next available opportunity, and progression may be delayed until the requirements are met. This means that they must retake and pass MLF 201 before moving on to year 3, or taking courses that require it as a prerequisite. The last part of our question, of course, is my graduation timeline. Successfully dropping or failing and not retaking MLF 201 would extend your time to graduation. You will not be able to complete your degree in the standard 4 years as outlined. You will need to plan to retake MLF 201 in a future semester, delaying access to subsequent modules and possibly pushing out your graduation by at least a semester or a year, depending on course offerings. Now, of course, that's a great answer. And at the end, it just said, meet with your assigned advisor, Dr. Sandra Lee. It gives her email there as soon as possible to adjust your plan of study and discuss how this might affect your intended graduation date. If you'd like any further questions or need to review your options, please book an appointment with the Grand Oak University Academic Advising Office. So great thing there. It's done really well. But let's just say Emma now faces something a bit more serious. I'm going to say to the bot, I've really been stressed lately and don't know what to do. So that's a bit more serious now. Emma's now taking this away from just querying your information and getting answers back to actually sort of confiding in the bot about personal things. So it's able to assist your students with that. It's able to recognize when that they need to now switch from academic advising and switch to more of a counseling role. And it's able to provide real-time support for all your students. So you can see it says, I'm really sorry to hear that you're feeling stressed. It's important to take care of yourself, and Grand Oak University has many resources to help you with this. Here are some suggestions. Reach out for support. It gives me the link for counseling. Practice relaxation techniques. Connect with your friends or family. Stay active. And right at the end there, it says, remember, it's absolutely okay to ask for help, and you're certainly not alone in feeling this way. If you have any questions or would like to connect with one of our staff members for support, do not hesitate to reach out. And this is exactly what Emma might want to do at this point. So of course, there's some times where Emma would just like to speak to a real person. As much of a burden as EduBot takes off your staff, some things is things that only a human can help with. And sometimes humans just have a much better touch when it comes to things like counseling. So seamless human handoff is what's supported by EduBot. EduBot knows when to take a step back and connect Emma with the right human support. The entire conversation history is transferred to your counseling team at this point, so Emma does not have to repeat herself. So let's just say Emma says now, I think I need to talk to someone now. You can see it says, please wait while I connect you to a staff member. This could take a few minutes. So now it's decided that Emma needs to speak to a staff member, and it's redirected them to a staff member. So that's more the sophomore process. I'm sure you can get a great idea of the power from there. It obviously did an incredible thing by becoming the student's personal academic advisor. And you can imagine how many staff members that could take huge amounts of pressure off. But at this point, she could also ask you questions like, what study abroad programs are available for computer science majors? Or things like, I'm thinking about graduate school. What do I need to prepare? She could ask things like, are there any undergraduate research opportunities with Dr. Smith? And the bot would have information for that and be able to present that to her. Or things like, what requirements do I still need to meet for graduation? Which the bot gave us a bit of a demonstration of how it can advise students with that earlier on. So let's move on to the actual human handoff aspect. As we just saw, the bot's now routed them to a human agent, and EduBot provides seamless human agent handover through our platform. So if I switch over here, this is what the live chat section of the backend will look like for your staff members. You can see on the left, we have a full list of all the conversations coming to EduBot over all the different channels. So the one we just demonstrated could have been deployed on your website. It could have been deployed on your LMS. It could have been deployed wherever you like it on your web-based interfaces, but it can also be deployed on your social channels. So things like Facebook Messenger, things like WhatsApp, Microsoft Teams, and all of that is the same bot that all comes to one central place for your agents. You can view a full chat history of every interaction going through the bot. So as you can see right now, we're on the chat for Emma Smith. Here's the full conversation history that we just had. We can see that Emma Smith has been struggling lately and she doesn't know what to do. And any help requests for human interaction come through in the top right here. So you can see Emma Smith requested a live chat. I can accept, transfer, or decline. If I transfer here, this just gives me the ability to transfer it to a different queue. So obviously you can set up different queues within the portal for different departments of your institution. and EduBot will be able to redirect students to where they need to go. But if you see that it's in the wrong queue, you can transfer it to whoever you need to, or you can transfer it to a particular agent. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the chance to help Emma and accept her chat. So when I accept the chat, she gets notified now that a staff member has joined the conversation. She's no longer talking to the AI chatbot. She's now talking to a staff member. And I can now obviously do what you expect and message Emma to assist her. There's lots of different features in this bot, which I'll go through now. But let's go back to the perspective of Emma here. You can see a staff member has joined the conversation. They've said hello. And I'm going to say to my staff member now, I've been feeling really overwhelmed with my coursework and deadlines. I don't know how to manage it. So I've said now to my staff member that I'm speaking to that I've been feeling really overwhelmed with my coursework and deadlines, and I don't know how to manage it all. Of course, this is visible from the staff member's point of view, and the staff member can now, of course, answer this, and they have all the features to do so. So I can either just type my message here, this is what to do. I can include emojis in my response or files, relevant documents. I can send templated quick replies, where I can send things that agents might send throughout the entire course of the day within seconds. So I can populate a response like this. Hi, Emma Smith. It already knows the student. You're speaking to Dane. It already knows the staff member. For details on scholarship, please review this. And you can even have attachments in your quick replies. So these are just templates that your agents can set up either for themselves or for the entire institution, so that your agents can effectively and quickly help your students without having to type the same message over and over again. But of course, we're not sort of dealing with a generic situation here. Emma's expressed that she's feeling overwhelmed with her coursework and her deadlines, and she doesn't know how to manage it all. So as a staff member, I could now reply to the answer, or I can use AI itself to help Emma here. So your staff members have access to the full AI knowledge and the AI power of EduBot. By clicking this button, I can generate an AI response, and this is now going to access the exact same intelligence, the exact same knowledge set to generate my first draft to respond to Emma here, which I can then just click insert. So you can see it said to me now, to effectively manage your coursework and deadlines, consider utilizing time management workshops offered by Grand Oak University, which provide practical tips for organizing your tasks. Additionally, booking an appointment with an academic advisor can help prioritize and create a balanced schedule. If you're struggling with specific subjects, one-on-one sessions and tutoring center can be beneficial. Remember to ask for help when needed and take breaks to practice mindfulness or relaxation techniques like deep breathing. So this might not be the exact right answer that Emma needs right now, but what it's done is it's taken a huge amount of time from the agent to provide all this information, to go through all your documentation, and just provide a first draft that I can now go and edit if I want. I could make it more personal, I could add emojis, I could add a file for relevant resources, but I can just send that through if I'm happy. And what's really cool about that is that your staff members on their first day of working for you and helping your students are empowered by all of your institution's data, and they can generate incredibly knowledgeable and insightful answers for students with incredibly high accuracy with almost no experience. So this, of course, incredibly reduces the training time for new staff members, enables all of your staff members, so even your untrained ones and your experienced one, with all of the institution data, and it just saves a lot of time by formulating that first draft for them. I can also do transfer things here as well, or I can invite other agents to collaborate with me on the chat. And if I expand this as well, I could see all the user info on the right. So again, I can see I'm speaking to Emma Smith. I can add notes about this chat saying that Emma was struggling. If there are any ratings on the bot interaction, they'll be visible here. There's tagging functionality. I can view the full audit history of agents that have connected to the chat. And I also have the ability to set up a video or voice call here, which uses Azure communication technology to send a meeting link, all branded for your institution, to the student within the chat. They can join that on their mobile device, and that call will come straight through to the portal for your agents to have an incredibly good quality video or voice chat with the student, all in from one central place. So because we have limited time, I'm not able to go through all the live chat features within the system. If anyone would like a more personalized demo towards that, we would, of course, be happy to set that up. But let's move on to the other aspects here. There's a lot of functionality within the system, and of course, we won't be able to go through it all today. but there's things like users, where you're able to collect all of the leads and user interactions coming through your bot and all of the information that might be useful to you, like phone numbers and email addresses. Get an overview of that very quickly. You can download it as an Excel so you can easily export your bot users, and you can view things like ratings of the bot, where students rate the bot interaction and you can provide information on that. I mentioned earlier that we built ticketing functionality, which is an incredibly important aspect of it. Your bot functions as a staff member, and of course, students will be asking questions to your bot at all times of the day. You know how students are. They'll be asking questions to the bot at 2 a.m., 3 a.m., and there's a good chance that there will be no agents online to help your students at that time. So what will happen then is the student will be able to submit a ticket, which will be available for your staff here. They have a full overview of all the information they need in a great clean interface, where they could see this is a chat on Microsoft Teams with Unatelli. This is the issue they had. Here's their ticket number, and I can easily reply here. And what's cool is once I reply in this window here, it'll go straight through to the user on their bot chat. So if they've been WhatsApping the bot or they've been messaging the bot on Facebook Messenger, they can now go about their business. They can wake up the next morning, and when the staff member actually assists them, they'll get it like a notification on any of their social media platforms. Of course, if I wanted to assist the student in a more manual way, I'm able to just go view their information, and I can actually contact them via their email or their phone number. And everything you would expect in here is here. You can attach documents, you can do the same quick reply functionality, and you can transfer it to all the other queues that you have available. You can also review all the resolved tickets in your system. Now, one of the biggest parts of EduBot is the data. That entire interaction that we've been through today wouldn't be possible if it wasn't fueled by good data. And that's the case with a lot of AI interactions. Ideally, if we could provide all of the up-to-date, accurate information to the bot would be able to answer questions about anything. But obviously, adding data and accurate data can often happen in a phased approach, and we provide the data center so that you have access to see what your bot's trained on and actually manage the data center yourself. So as you can see on my screen right now, we're looking at the demo KB. This is what the demonstration that we just went through is trained on. And we have various data sources. This is a very clean interface here, and I can view all the different data sources. We have websites, the Grand Oak University website. We have different PDFs and documents, Word documents. You can get an overview of what the bot's trained on. So you can see we've got the course catalog, we've got the registrar information, we've got the official transcript request form, and you can have thousands of documents here, and you can easily remove and add them and get a great overview. You can add things like Q&As, where you can add banks of traditional question and answers that you may have spent years developing, and the bot can use that as knowledge sets as well. Or you can add traditional text chunking, where you or your staff members can simply insert text knowledge sets into the bot, and the bot will be able to use that when students ask questions to accurately answer their questions. You see how easy it is for you to add information. You can easily just add your news source, website, documents, Q&As, text. And we even have things for automatic web scraping, where you can enter the URL and you can set things like the number of pages, ignore sitemaps, the max depth. You can exclude advanced things like scripts, footer messages. I don't want to get too technical, but this is obviously incredibly important of indexing your website correctly and keeping all that up-to-date information live. The system will re-index that at a certain interval, whether it's daily, weekly, depending on how often your information changes. So all the information that the bot's answering with comes from one central point of truth and is always up to date and accurate. So again, a lot of things within the system, but what I want to demonstrate to you last, which is of course one of the most important aspects of the system, is the analytics in the system. So all of the analytics within EduBot are powered by Microsoft Power BI, and understanding the insights from EduBot and what's happening is a key part of measuring whether it's successful and how it's helping your students and how successfully it's helping your students. And this is what it would look like. What our team does is we will build a report specifically for your institution. We do our best to provide all the bot metrics that we know work and that we've tried and tested with other universities to implement. So your general bot metrics like total questions asked, total unique users, average questions per user, average ratings. Of course, this is all demo data. This is no confidential client data we're looking at, but this is kind of what it might look like. And you'd be able to see the volume of your questions over different channels over time. You would be able to get insights on your peak months and your peak times. When is the bot the busiest? And then you can make informed decisions from that, where you can make sure you have more staff members on during busier months or during busier times of the day. You could see which channels are performing better. But because we're dealing with EduBot, which is an incredibly capable AI bot, you're no longer dealing with structured text. The questions that the students are asking are all different. A lot of them are very situational. A lot of them are in different languages, and they might all mean the same intent or the same thing, but they'll all be asked in a completely different way. So we use advanced AI analytics to provide insights for you to make informed, educated decisions based on the questions coming through your bot. And this is what some of them might look like. So you'll have your top categories that students are asking questions about, where it breaks all the questions that are coming down all in different ways into the things like the categories: academics, admissions, tuition and billing, and then even subcategories from there. So the questions about admissions are on application process, then some of them about application status, then some of them about scholarship/financial aid. And of course, what that does is it allows you to make informed decisions. If you see most of the questions are about admissions, you can make sure that your bot is geared up with all the information that it needs to answer questions about admissions. And of course, it's possible that you'll see things in here that the bot actually has no knowledge about. From there, you can actually adjust and make that decision to add that information and keep assisting your students better and better. We can pick things up like a sentiment score. How positive or negative is the interaction with EduBot? What are the top languages going through the bot? Of course, as I said, the bot's multilingual and supports over 100 different languages. And you can get an overview that English is the top language, followed by then Spanish, Chinese, French. And you can get a great idea of what's the top language that your students are communicating to the bot with. And again, you can do different things with that information. We do keyword extraction, and then again, other things like the average response time, the average percentage of students that rated the bot helpful, how many students were redirected to a human agent, and of those agents, which one of the agents are performing the best. Again, we could see great insights about your bot by extracting education-specific metrics, like the usage by faculty. You can see which faculties that the students talking to the bot come from, and you can see most of them come from the arts and humanities one, followed closely by science. You can see what types of students are using EduBot the most. So it's clear that most of the students using the bot are undergrads. 68% of students using the bot are undergrad students. And then again, you can gear the information and the processes towards your undergrad students, or you can work at making the bot more available to the other different student types. And where it gets really cool is EduBot can actually surface insights about things happening within your institution before you even see them. So we use AI to detect things like errors. Students will often see the bot as their first line of defense. And if they're coming onto the bot and saying things like, I can't log into the student portal, they might say that in 100 different ways. They might go onto the bot and say, I'm incredibly frustrated, I cannot log into the student portal. Or they might just come on there and say, I'm receiving an error when I go to the student portal. The bot will collect all those different things. They will compare them to other interactions within the bot, and will surface insights if there's any similarities, which you might actually detect on EduBot first. If all the students are getting a white screen when they click apply, you might not even know about that until you see a couple of students asking about it and it comes up on the report. And that's where using AI becomes really powerful. It can action these insights, and you can take action subsequently from there to help your students effectively. It can also pick up things like top emerging trends, where it measures the increase in people asking questions about a particular topic. And then you can decide, okay, well, there's been 150% increase in questions about library e-access in the last 7 days. It clearly shows that there's been a sudden interest in it. And is our bot well equipped enough with data and staff members to assist students asking about those questions? So this is one of the most important components of the EduBot solution. As I mentioned, this report will be completely tailored for your university. So any additional success metrics that you might want to report on, we will build those functions into the EduBot solution. And of course, we will include those in your report. So I think that's a great point to end on. Obviously, the power of AI, the bot processes we've been through, a bit of the platform. And what you've seen here today demonstrates why universities choose EduBot over building their own solutions or going with generic chatbot providers. We've spent years perfecting this specifically for higher education. Every feature has been guided by our experience working with dozens of universities, learning from thousands of student interactions, and continuously refining based on real-world feedback. Your IT team might be brilliant, but they can't replicate the collective knowledge we've gained from working predominantly in higher education. When you choose EduBot, you're not just getting software, you're getting a partner who understands your unique challenges and has proven solutions to address them. So the question isn't whether you need AI to support your students. The question is whether you want the best AI to support your students. And that's EduBot. So thank you everyone so much for listening to this demo. I hope it's demonstrated the capabilities. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to hand it back to Ivan to close off this webinar. So thank you so much, everyone.